What's going on, everyone? Welcome back in, finally, to some more Anno 1800. I know it has been a very long time. I've been very busy and just really not had the energy to play a lot of Anno lately. I did do a stream on Twitch the other day where we started a new campaign playthrough that has been very fun so far. So if you're interested in checking out some of that, be sure to follow me over on twitch.tv/Takarazuka. All right, so I have made some decisions here, so bear with me on this. I feel like we have been stuck on Winchester for the longest time. Seriously, we have been stuck here forever. Just mostly fiddling around because I keep trying to make this city look perfect for absolutely no reason. Although, yes, I do want to beauty build this. As you can see, the city has changed a lot since the last episode. I have spent hours fiddling around trying to make this city look good. And right now, I think that's what's burning me out. Is just messing with this city so much. And I need to get away from it for a little while and just do something different for a bit. So what I think I actually want to do, and this is something that I know a lot of people have been begging me to do and been just constantly asking about, is about Crown Falls itself. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to step away from Winchester and we are going to start developing up Crown Falls. What I want to do with Winchester and some of the other islands in the old world that I do plan on building cities on is save those for live streams. I think I'm going to do that. We'll live stream, we will fiddle, we will play around with city layouts and do some fun stuff, but I think I want to get over to Crown Falls and get Crown Falls going. That's really the capstone of this million population challenge, is getting Crown Falls up and running. So I think that would be the more interesting thing to do. So on Crown Falls, I do have a trade route set up now with 2 reefers on it, bringing over building materials to get us started, as well as a trade route going down here to old Nate, purchasing up a lot of the goods that he sells down here as well to help us out with that. Now, as far as Crown Falls itself is concerned, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a mass blueprint layout to kind of get myself an idea of what I want to do. I don't want to start off with little city here and just keep trying to build on that and it constantly changing. I think I want to get a master plan going from the start. In my head, the way I'm kind of thinking about doing this is similar to some other playthroughs how I've done it in the past. I'm kind of thinking about maybe doing the World's Fair either over here or possibly up here. I'm kind of leaning towards the World's Fair being up in this area right here. The palace, since the palace is probably going to cover the majority of the island, since I'm going to have such a large population, I don't have to centralize the palace. Instead, I think I'm going to do the palace possibly maybe back up in here. I don't want to do it all the way back here. I think that's a little too far away. So I think I'm going to do the palace maybe somewhere right in this general area right here. Right about in here. Not exactly center of the island like most people do right here, but probably somewhere back in here. And then maybe do a bunch of really nice vineyards or something like that back behind it. I don't know, something kind of fun, some vineyards and orchards. Just make something like a really pretty landscape behind the palace. And then obviously a nice big old city, so some skyscrapers and stuff like that all around the coastline. And I don't know how else we'll go with that. I have a slight vision in mind, but it's not exact. As far as everything else, Docklands is probably going to go right here in this spot. And then I will have like the tourist mooring and all that kind of stuff over here. And yeah, I'm probably not going to have many industries at all on this island. Now, we have talked about it a little bit in the past. And what I'm going to do for Crown Falls, and you all are going to hate me for it, is I am going to do the Bruno Ironbright Dario combination with Docklands. What that means, for those of you who are not aware, Bruno is the main part of this. Bruno Ironbright obviously gives you steam motors and advanced weapons every few cycles from like bicycle factories, sewing machines, and so on. I am going to hide, keyword, we're going to hide some bicycle factories within the cityscape. And then we are going to clip them. Clipping is where you take a building. It has to be a building with even numbers on how this works. So how this is going to work is we're going to take a bicycle factory. I'm going to blueprint this because I don't actually want to build it right now. And then you would take... I probably actually do have to build it. It's fine, whatever. So we're going to take one like this. And you see that it's covering it up. You see that it does get coverage. Okay? You see it highlighted there? Okay? Then we're going to take another one right there. Now, and I don't have any items on this to show you how it exactly would work. I don't have those transported over yet. But if I put a, excuse me, if I put a Bruno Ironbright in both of these trade unions, this bicycle factory is going to be affected by Bruno twice. Okay? This is how we're going to supply goods to this island. We are going to cheese the island. We're going to cheese Docklands. Go ahead and hate me for it. But I think it'd be, I think it'd be a good way to, at least do it one time in my career of Anno is to use the Docklands cheese. And it's how we're going to do this. We're going to be mass producing steam motors and advanced weapons, exporting those, importing the goods for the bicycle factory, the caoutchouc and the steel, and then importing all of the other goods that I need for my citizens. Obviously, you cannot import skyscraper goods, so we will be producing skyscraper goods themselves. Not elevators, though. Elevators are being transported over from the old world into this area, so I won't have elevators on this island, but we will be producing all of our skyscraper goods as well as tourist stuff, because I will have tourists on this island too. But for all of our generic, I would probably say this island's going to be artisans to investors. I'm not going to have all investors on this island, but it will probably be artisans, maybe just engineers and investors. I don't know. Yeah, I have to think about that part. I haven't thought about that. But we are going to do that and import all of the goods that those people can use from Docklands. So we're going to hide these throughout the city. We're going to have a lot of them. There's going to be quite a few. I don't know how many I need just yet, but we are going to hide them within the cityscape so you don't see the fact that I'm cheesing the entire system. So I think it will be kind of fun that way. So with that, I am actually just going to go ahead and I think I might just do a quick cut in the video and I'm going to get a basic road layout set up. And then we will start thinking about buildings and what we're going to place in there. So I will see you when I get back. All right, let's have a little check-in here. It's been about an hour and a half of working on this so far. Yeah, this is what I've done in an hour and a half. Doesn't seem like much, but it's changed several times. I've had a few different iterations trying to decide how I want this to look. I did want to incorporate my sewer canals. As most of you know, I love sewer canals. I think they look fantastic. I don't like the regular pretty canals. I think the regular pretty canals are, they're too pretty. They just look way too pretty. Sewers look awesome. They just look so good with a city. So yeah, I want to incorporate sewers badly. I haven't done it in a long time, so here we go. We're getting some sewers going in here. I did have a Docklands built down here, but I really didn't like it. It started just doing the typical, shoehorn shape like this, and I didn't like it, so I ripped it all out, and I'm going to sit here and tinker with this a little bit more. I could probably spend, like, an entire day of my life trying to design a Docklands that I like, so I'm going to keep tinkering with it. I'm not sure yet. Other than that, yeah, trying to get some stuff going here. Trying to add in some nice wide pavilions and boulevards. Some of them are going to be taken up with sewers, but some of them won't be. Like this right here is going to be a nice little boulevard area going across here. Nice wide boulevard, probably a lot of trees, some little niceties down into here. But it will end. It's not going to be like a full, going from one side to another. Just a little nice area right there. I may come in and try to add another one in somewhere. I had some others, but they kind of got filled in with sewers and stuff. So I do want some nice green space. The houses are all just kind of more temporary. A lot of it will be housing, especially where I have like a town hall there and over here so far. A lot of that will be housing. Some of this may not be housing, especially as I get things like the food and drink venues for the tourists unlock. I'll be incorporating those into the city. Now, my department stores, this is a little design I came up with to get to department stores to fit in with the cityscapes and not take up like all kinds of weird room. And that's putting them in the middle of a little, 5 by 5, little 5 tile, or not 5 tile. What is this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 tile wide. Just leave one space and then put the department store in the middle and then put your other houses around it. It kind of puts it in the middle. And if you have like some level like 2 and 3 skyscrapers around it, it actually looks kind of cool. If you try to do it with big skyscrapers, it loses a lot of the effect and it just kind of looks lost in there. But low-rise skyscrapers around these look really, really nice. I really like the way it looks. So I'm incorporating some of that into the cities. Don't know what they'll be. I'm just using the department store right now as just a placeholder, and I'll replace them with stuff later on as I need them. Now, right over here, you'll see where I've started work on this whole clipping thing. You'll see I've got the trade union here, and the bicycle factory in the middle. And then I put another one right up here with another factory. So I'm going to have another trade union. So I'm going to have 2 clipped bicycle factories right here. That's going to help me start importing the goods that I need to supply the city with. Getting all that researched over here. I am researching the major discoveries for moving oil. I have 3 right now. I'm working on the 4th one. I have 4 oil springs on this island, so I went ahead and queued all 4 of them up because I'm going to move all 4 of those down here. The reason for that is this island is mostly going to be supplied by gas-fired power plants. That is going to be the majority of this island is gas-fired power plants. I'm not going to be doing much of anything else. The oil will be down here, and I will likely ship the oil instantly off of this island and send it down to other islands for production and other things like that I'm going to need. So Crown Falls is going to be 100% supplied by gas. No train tracks anywhere other than like a single train track going from like the oil wells to the oil harbor right here. No train tracks throughout the city. Don't want them. Don't want to fool with them. We're going to do all gas power. A question I see come up a lot is how do you go about moving to Crown Falls, and how do you get everything set up, and how do you supply all the needs? So what I will be doing here soon is adding another trade route to this island, and I will be bringing over all of the farmer and worker tier consumer goods. So we'll be bringing over not things like schnapps or beer, but fish, work clothes, sausages, bread, soap, canned food, sewing machines, rum, and fur coats. I'll bring all of that stuff over on a on a thing, yeah. What's the word I'm going to looking for? A cargo ship. I'll bring all that kind of stuff over on cargo ships. The canned food, sewing machines, and fur coats, I may not, since those are needed by engineers, and I do plan on having engineers on this island. So I may just go ahead and import that. But at least all the farmer and worker tier goods. I thought about artisan too, which is why I kind of started going down through canned food and stuff. But since I'm going to have engineers on this island, I'll go ahead and import that. So everything from fish to soap is going to get imported from a trade route from our other islands. What I will do with that is I will stockpile up to whatever my max capacity is. Right now it's at 600. It will be more when I have all of my depots built down here with Docklands. I will just stockpile it, and then I will just pause the trade route for a while. I'll just let it sit, and I won't do anything with it. And I'll just start going through that stock. I'm not going to increase production for the farmers and workers that are going to be on this island because they're transitory. They are only there so I can get to artisans and on to engineers. I don't need them to be produced in excess because I'm not going to be keeping them. So I will just take the excess quantity from other islands and bring it over here for a little while and just stockpile it. And then eventually I won't need it anymore, and that trade route will just go away. So it's just a matter of bringing over extra goods and just chewing through it. Don't worry about building extra fisheries and framework knitters and bakeries and stuff, because you're not going to keep that stuff. That stuff is not going to be needed on this island eventually, since it's pretty much only going to be engineers and investors. I did make up my mind, and this will not have any artisans on this island. It will be all engineers and investors on this island. All we're going to have. Not all skyscrapers. Pause and think. Actually, I could do a bunch of... I like the engineer skyscrapers. I could have the island full of engineer skyscrapers and no regular engineers. And then the investors will be skyscrapers. It's actually not a bad idea. I may do that. So no artisans on this island, only engineers and investors, and mostly all skyscrapers. So we'll bring over what we need to get to those levels, and then eventually we won't need those goods anymore. And I'll let them sit. I may just go ahead and sell them all off and get them off the island. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out later. We will need some goods, obviously, for the food and drink venues, but that's all for later on. That is kind of the plan for that. As far as where I plan on going from here, I'm going to probably expand out and come up with a game plan for right here in this area and then I'll probably stop and start actually building stuff and getting the population on this island and start getting everything going. I'm also going to do quite a bit of work on getting animals and museum parts. I have a spreadsheet list of all of my favorite and the ones that I consider kind of, quote, necessary zoo and museum stuff set up. And so I'm probably going to start work on that and start coming up with some nice big museums and zoos and stuff on this island. Mostly it's going to be right over in this area, I think. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put all of that just yet. I haven't fully decided how I want to do it. I don't want like one giant zoo. I see people all the time, look at this cool zoo I made. And it literally has every animal slapped in there, just one on top of each other. And I don't really much care for that. But you only need a minimum of 300 attractiveness from a cultural building in order to satisfy the hotel need. So I don't know if I want to do some small zoos with a couple of hotels around them or some bigger ones with most of the hotels around them. I haven't fully decided yet. I will have the 10 hotels, I believe it is. I'm going to have 10 to 15 hotels total on this island. That way you get the need for the Iron Tower unlocked for them, as well as have a healthy amount of extra workforce to supply the 5,000 tourists needed for the customers for the Iron Tower, so I can expand its range out fully. And leftover workforce for some food and drink venues. So we will have a lot of hotels on this island. I do hate that, honestly. Most of you know I hate the hotels. I think they look ugly. But you know what? We have a goal to meet here. We have a lot of population we need, and I need to be able to do some consumption reduction as much as possible. So that's kind of where we're at the second. Oh, check out my fun. I like this right here. I don't know why, but I really like this little... Just kind of setting it off right here off to the side, and probably go in and, you know, add a few little niceties around it. Add a few quick little niceties, like some little statues and stuff. I love making little stuff like this. It's just fun. Just fun at making little stuff. Add in some like little parks every so often, maybe. Decorating makes me happy. Decorating always makes me very happy. So we could put him at the end, kind of like that one over there, and then maybe put a gazebo on this one. I don't know, just some fun little stuff. Just kind of adds to the to the atmosphere of the area. Makes it look a little more interesting. Put in a fence. Keep the filth out of our university with a fence row in front of it. See, there we go. Now we have a nice little university set in a little parkland, and everybody's happy with it. Oh, it's gonna look so good on this island. I can't wait. So yeah, I think I'm going to go spend a little more time, do a little more expansion, and we'll come back, take a look at it before we end the episode, and then move on from there. So I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. All right, guys, about another hour and a half or so of work, and this is what we've got going on for this side of town, although obviously still a work in progress. I haven't filled everything in. Instead of trying to do every single neighborhood, I'm trying to kind of just get a big overview of it, and then I'll go in and start filling in some of the gaps and stuff later on, because not everything is going to be housing. There will obviously be other stuff such as member clubs and universities. Obviously this one university isn't going to cut it. We'll have to have another one like over here somewhere. Variety theaters for our engineers and several things like that. So the blueprinted houses are mostly there just for a guideline for the time being, and I'll start filling in with more buildings as go. But I'm pretty happy with this so far. I even incorporated a small zoo right here, which is going to have a mixture of Tega Forest, which is going to help with our canned food and chocolate consumption, as well as the extinct species, which increases the attractiveness from zoological gardens, aka zoos. So gonna have this little zoo here. I'm gonna have a couple of other smaller zoos, at least one that has a 300 attractiveness rating for our hotels and stuff. And then we're going to start incorporating more museums and stuff around as well, and going to have several museums on the island. I don't know exactly how much attractiveness I'm going to be aiming for. Maybe the 33,000, which is the maximum prestige for the palace. We might go for that. I don't know. It'll be kind of hard to fit in with how I'm doing the island, but you know, we'll go as far as we can with it. Obviously 33,000 attractiveness is not the goal of this, but if we can get it, that will be cool as well. I've also started trying to incorporate some more of our little canals and stuff, our little sewers everywhere into the city. And as well as having the big channels, I'm trying to make just some neat little passage areas. Just have them kind of snaking around through the city, dragging them and then blanking at a road to make it look like they go there, and then they'll go underneath buildings maybe. You know, just odd little things like that. You know, just kind of fun little things that kind of catch your eye. And do some stuff. It doesn't always have to make sense. Not everything has to make sense all the time. Sometimes it's just neat to have it just kind of there or something. I don't know. So I'm just kind of playing around with some of that and seeing how I like it and how it turns out. I've added in another bicycle factory. I do believe, is he here yet? No, he's not, but I think he's right there. I've got a couple of Bruno Ironbrights ready to go. Get one in there. Then I will get one in probably on that. I mean, this right here, obviously. I guess we'll put him down here on this one. So it's going to get us a couple of Bruno Ironbrights going. So what that does now, as you can see, I now have 2 Darios and 2 Bruno Ironbrights on this. For the last thing right here, probably going to add in, let's see. Probably it's just going to be... Oh, that's not what I'm looking for. I'm thinking just a Ferris probably as the last one. Keep hitting the V on my keyboard. Bicycle factories. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I'll probably just do him. Just do a Ferris on it. I will have a 4th trade union slot on this island. So I can do a 4th trade union slot later on. And for that one, I would probably add maybe in a fortunate. Most likely. Probably what I would add in is a fortunate. Not really worried about reduction of the workforce or anything. That's not going to be a big deal for us. So yeah, probably just add in a Ferris Al Sarami, and then for the third one we'll do like a fortunate or something like that. Just anything to increase the productivity basically is kind of what I'm looking for on those right there. So That's some ideas for these. They're going to start, once I have power to them, obviously, they're going to start churning out everything that I have to have for the Docklands, which I've started on my Docklands redesign, and I've kind of tossed the idea. I don't really like it already. Go ahead and get rid of all this, because, yeah, not liking it anymore. I can't decide how I want my Docklands to look. I've got to fiffle around with it. I got to fiffle with it quite a bit. Don't know what I'm going to do with that just yet. Gonna have to do something with it soon, though, because we are going to need it. So from here, of course, this is going to be the end of this episode right here. But in the next episode, when we come back, I'm going to go ahead and start getting this part of town, at least what we have blueprinted and laid out right here, up and running. I'm going to go ahead and bring over all of the the consumer goods, rather, that I need for farmers through artisans. And then I'm going to get... and I may just go ahead just for a temporary power plant. I'm not ready to go to the Arctic right now. I don't want to waste time with that. So I will likely just go ahead and get a temporary power plant over to here and get these guys right here up and running, because they do require power to function. So I'll probably just get a temporary power plant over here just to get them going so they can start pumping out the goods that I need for our Docklands, and I can start importing the goods for the engineers and above. Start importing stuff. So that's going to be the goal for the next episode. We'll start filling all this in, getting the city actually looking like a real city and not a blueprinted nightmare. And do a little decorating. I've left myself quite a bit of room for decorating, but I also have to see where I'm going to be fitting in various buildings and stuff like that. I've got to take stock of which recipes I'm going to be using from all of the different department stores and stuff. We've got a lot of department stores we have to deal with. I need 15, at least one of each recipe, so 15 of them for the Skyline Tower. But then, of course, all the recipes are really, really good for all of these different shopping arcades. So I've got to see which ones I'm going to want and figure out how many I'm going to need to squeeze in on here, as well as some of the bars, cafes, and restaurants are going to have to be squeezed in, and I have to have some room for that as well. So I've got several things that I'm going to have to work into the cityscape. So lots to do, lots coming up. I hope you'll stick around for the next episode for that. Until the next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to check out the Discord server. We have lots and lots of people over on the Discord server. We'd love to have you there. Share your screenshots, ask questions. We love to answer questions from new players, or if you're just curious about something about how the game works. If you're interested in getting early access to videos, members only streams and things like that, be sure to check out the YouTube channel membership down below or my Patreon. And with that, thanks for watching. Catch you next time.